Hi everyone and welcome back to Dev Portal, your go-to channel for mastering tech concepts. In the last video, we have saw that how to create users in the database. Today, we are diving into schemas, an important feature in PostgreSQL for organizing and managing your database more effectively. Let's start with the basic question, what is schema? In PostgreSQL, a schema is a logical container that holds database objects such as tables, views, functions or more. Think of schema as a folder on your computer, just like you group files into folder for better organization. A schema group database object like tables and views. This makes your database more structured, manageable and secure. Imagine a database for a library system. You have separate schemas for books, members and staff. This structure ensures that tables with the same name in different schemas does not conflict with each other. Schema also helps when working on a multi-tenant application where different clients share the same database but have isolated data. Now you might be wondering why we need to use schemas. First, schema help in organizing database objects such as tables, views, sequence or functions logically. This logical grouping allows developers and administrators to easily find and manage objects, improving database clarity and reduce complexity. Schema allows control over who can access which database object. This improves security by limiting access on the data. By controlling permission at the schema level, we can ensure that user only access the data that they are authorized to work with, thereby protecting data information. Schema supports modular design, allowing different parts of a database to be developed and maintained independently. This is especially useful for large-scale applications. This modularity reduces the risk of accidental interference and improves collaboration among teams. In database with many objects or when integrated with third-party system, naming conflicts may occur. Schema acts as a namespace allowing objects with the same name to coexist. This feature is particularly useful in multi-tenant applications where each system can have its own schema with similar need of object. Now let's learn how to create schema. The syntax is very simple. First let me go to the pgadmin. So we come to the pgadmin. Now let's create the schema. So to create the schema, the syntax is very simple. We need to write create schema, schema name. Currently you can see there is only one schema present. So let me create one schema here. Create schema and suppose name is books. If I run this query, so you can see it is saying schema got created. If I refresh here, so you can see now it is reflecting two schemas. So this command creates the schema named books. By default, only the user who has created the schema has access to it. Let me show you. If I go to the SQL, you can see the authorization is with Postgres because we have used Postgres credential to create this schema. Now what we are going to do, we will try to rename this schema. So for that, again I will come back to query tool and I need to write alter command, alter, and I need to mention the schema name, that is books, and I will write rename to, and suppose I want to rename to books underscore schema. If I run this query, so you can see alter runs successfully. If I refresh the schema here, so now you can see it is books underscore schema. So this is the command to rename the schema name. Now let's see how we can change owner for this schema. So for that again I need to write one alter command, alter schema, schema name, that is books underscore schema, and I want to change the owner. So owner to dev. Dev is one of the users that is present here. Let me show you. So you can see there is one user, that is dev, and I want to change the owner. So query got run successfully. Now if I refresh this and if I go to SQL, you can see now the owner is dev. Earlier it was showing Postgres. So here what we have done, first we have seen how we can rename the schema name and later we have assigned the new owner to that schema. Now let's see how we can delete the schema, but you need to remember this action is irreversible, so you have to be very careful for while running the query. So if I go to the here query tool, and there are two ways that we can delete the schemas. So for that, first what I'm going to do, I will create I will create one more schema here. So let me create one more schema, create schema, and suppose this time I am giving staff. Let me create this schema as well. And what I'm going to do, I will create one table in each of these schemas. So to do it quickly, let me go to the public schema. Here I have one users table. I will just copy this command and I will run it here. And in place of public, I will give staff. So let me run this query. Okay, staff it is. I have misplaced the name staff. Now let me run this query again, and table got created. Now let me change the schema to books underscore schema. Let me run it again, and it got created. Now let me close public schema and let me show you both the tables. So we are in public schema again. So let me open books schema and one table present here. And same way, if I open staff schema, here as well one table exists. So now let's see how we can delete the schemas. So first let me clear all this, and now we are going to delete the schema. So for that there are two ways. One, that I am going to write drop schema, and I need to mention the schema name. Suppose I am writing books underscore schema, and if there are objects which are exist inside this schema and I am trying to delete that schema, then it will give me the error. Why? Because those objects are dependent on that schema. So Postgres will say that you cannot delete this object because already some object depend on it. So still, if you want to delete the schema, you need to use one keyword, that is cascade. And if I write one more query, that is drop schema, and this time staff I will write. First let me show you what will happen if I run the below query. It will give me the error, and you can see here it is saying table staff.users depends on schema staff, cannot drop schema staff because other objects depend on it. And if I run the first query, you can see the drop command has executed. It is saying drop cascade to table books schema.users. So what it has done, we have created one users table inside the schema. That table also got dropped. If I refresh here, so now you can see there are only two schemas present. So in first query, what it has done, it has dropped everything what is present inside the schema, and then it has dropped that schema. In second query, why it is not possible? Because some objects already dependent on that schema. So the cascade keyword ensures all objects within the schema are also got deleted. So there are few best practices that we can consider while managing our database. First, we can create schemas for different modules or team, and we can restrict who can view or modify schemas, and use public schema wisely. Don't cluster it with all your objects. Now let me show you one more example. I am trying to create one table, but this time I will not provide the schema name, and we will see what will happen. So for that, first let me remove all these queries and let me provide the create script here. So here I will not provide the schema name, and let me change it to users underscore test. And if I try to run this query, let me run this query, and you can see table got created. Now let's see where it is reflecting. So first let me refresh this so that new changes will reflect. And if I open public schema, if I open tables, so here it is reflecting. Why? Because in Postgres, public is the default schema that is used. This thing I have explained you in the previous tutorial as well while explaining the users. So that video you can check it out. Link I will give you in the I section. And if I open the next schema, that is staff, and you can see here only one table is there. So we need to make sure while creating the tables or writing any SQL queries, we should mention schema name as well, so that we will get the result that we are expecting. By now you should have solid understanding of schemas and their importance. In the next video, we will dive deeper into working with tables and data types in PostgreSQL. Notes link I will give you in the description box so you can check it out. If you found this tutorial helpful, hit the like button, subscribe to Dev Portal and share it with others. Thanks for watching this video, and I will see you in the next video.